That's another thing about fighters. They wanted to box, or their father made them box. I had to box. I had to get myself out of my situation. Like when I was coming to, I didn't say I'm gonna be this undisputed champion nigga. I was saying I need to get money. I need to get out of my situation. Actually, all the guys that started with us, they all did. Everybody that was older than me that started with me, they all got in the gym. 7 of them. Like everybody that I actually started with did.
Really?
Yeah. Boxing definitely really saved my life because I had an anger problem.
I went back to school. That's for me, because I dropped out because I was missing a lot of days because I was in tournaments and stuff like that, or I was fighting when I'm not in tournaments.
We lost a lot of kids to death from the streets, incarceration, and he hears me talk about these things, like, man, when we want to get a break or do something to show these kids in this town that you can chase them dreams, you can make these realities, them dreams become realities, and hopefully that he's that vehicle to actually do that.
You're the first Baltimore native to defend your world title in your hometown in 79 years. It's been a long time since a champion's done that.
I owe the city of Baltimore, a big one. Just you saying it just get me nervous. It give me chills. I fought a lot of places, but I never fought at home. Just fought in front of my people, just thousands just cheering me on. I'm ready for it. I'm getting myself mentally and physically, ready. It's a big task, and you gotta have it in you. And I believe since I was young, my coach stored it in me. I never knew that I was fight back home or be this big. When I came in the gym, I ain't have no goal, to be honest. I was just around love that I wasn't getting at home,
I read where you said, boxing helped save my life. What'd you mean by that?
5 of the fighters that I started with, all of them did.
All of them succumbed to the street violence.
Yeah, all of them got killed in the streets.
And you believe boxing was what saved you?
Yeah, boxing definitely saved my life. I could have been, I was younger than them, so I remember my coach, Coach Kenny, jacking up a fighter, like, you gotta stay out the streets. And probably like a year later, he got killed. So it definitely saved my life.
You were taken from your parents at a young age?
Yeah.
How old were you and why?
I think I was probably like 5 when they took us, and my brother was 10. My mom left us in the house by herself. She was on drugs a lot.
You went from foster homes to foster home. You even went to a group home.
We was with our uncle, our great uncle. They was abusing us, and he was waking us up like 5 in the morning, whooping us, making us take out trash and stuff like that, because we wasn't his own. So it was like these new kids that he getting paid to, take care of. So my grandmother fought to get us back. So at this time, we was the new kid on the block. Everybody loved my brother, and I was the bad one. I was fighting a lot in school, fighting a lot on the streets. And, one time I fought in front of my house, and my uncle seen me fight, and he wanted to, turn something negative into positive. So they brought us to the gym.
Stop closing up. Gotta let it go. Keep turning, step around. Keep turning.
Yeah. We're gonna dog walk him from one end of that ring to the next.
That's how I think it's gonna look.
He's gonna have to bring all of it until one of them is laid down. We try to break his jaw, his nose, his eye sockets. We're not playing with him. We going in there to beat him up.
Guaranteed Tank fights Schofield next. Look, I would be mad initially because it's like, bro, did he have anything to do with them pulling out the Shakur fight? And then I would question the Schofields because it's like, why would you want to pull out of a title fight to go fight for another title when you could just win this title and go to that fight and make it a unification for even more money?
After a long absence, it looks like Gervonta Tank Davis is finally set to make a comeback to the ring. The Baltimore superstar boxer has been absent from the sport since his controversial March 2025 WBA lightweight title defense with Lamont Roach. Tank has been in the news since then, particularly with his now canceled fight against Jake Paul and his constant run-ins with the law. We all thought Tank would soon announce a fight and return to the ring, but with the first half of 2026 officially coming to a close, fans are now desperate to see the 3-division world champion fight somebody. Now, in case you're wondering who Tank is going to fight next, all arrows point at one man, Floyd Schofield Jr. Floyd Schofield, aka Kid Austin, happens to be the WBA mandatory for Tank's next fight. The World Boxing Association has officially ordered Davis to face mandatory challenger Floyd Schofield, a move that effectively blocks the boxer from taking any alternate comeback fight for now. In a statement released on May 23rd, the WBA confirmed that both camps have been given a 30-day negotiation window to finalize a lightweight title bout. If no agreement is reached by June 22nd, the sanctioning body could move forward with a purse bid.
The World Boxing Association Championships Committee has officially ordered the mandatory lightweight title bout between reigning champion Gervonta Davis and the division's #1 contender Floyd Schofield. The pioneering organization sent formal notification to both camps this Saturday, May 23rd, granting the parties a 30-day negotiation period that will expire on June the 22nd. Under championship rule C-10 title defense periods, champions in all divisions outside of heavyweight are required to defend their titles every 9 months from the date the championship was obtained. In Davis's case, his last appearance came on March 1st, 2025, when he retained the title via majority draw against Lamont Roach, leaving the mandatory defense significantly overdue. Additionally, WBA Rule C-13 bout limitation states that a champion may not compete against any boxer other than the official mandatory challenger within 60 days after the expiration of the mandatory defense period. The WBA will now allow the respective teams the allotted negotiation window to reach an agreement. Should the parties fail to come to terms, or if either side refuses to negotiate, the organization may proceed with a purse bid in accordance with its internal rules and
Now, the Baltimore fighter has been linked to several names recently, including a possible rematch with Isaac Cruz, with talks centered around a summer return at 140 pounds. There was also talk about a massive fight with Vasily Lomachenko after his unexpected return to the sport. But under WBA rules, Davis is now restricted from pursuing another opponent while the mandatory title defense remains unresolved.
So, according to the team of Isaac Pitbull Cruz, who is promoted by Manny Pacquiao Promotions, they are in line and in talks to have a rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis should they get past El Rayo, Jose Valenzuela, August 3rd. And this has been revealed because 2-division world champion, superstar boxer, who is the reigning WBO junior welterweight world champion, Teofimo Lopez, attempted to negotiate a unification bout with Isaac Pitbull Cruz. And Isaac Cruz and their team says, we'll revisit that once the Tank Davis rematch is over. But we can't accept a showdown with you right now because we have that hanging in the balance. Now, this is interesting because we know Gervonta Tank Davis and his team is in negotiations to face off against Vasil Lomachenko in the unification bout at 135.
According to the organization, the decision is tied directly to inactivity. WBA rules require champions outside the heavyweight division to defend their belts every 9 months. The WBA also cited another regulation stating that champions cannot accept a non-mandatory fight within 60 days of the mandatory defense deadline. That language appears to shut down any immediate plans for Davis to take a tune-up or alternate comeback bout before addressing Schofield.
I don't like this fight. However, as I have told y'all over and over again, when this situation has been brought up to me, or when I've talked about this situation on numerous occasions, if Floyd Schofield is made his mandatory challenger and Tank Davis is put in a position to fight him or have to vacate his belt, he should defend his mandatory so that he can stay champion and open up big opportunities in the future for unifications and things like that. I like when my favorite fighters are champions. It just is what it is. That's the most prestigious spot you can hold in the sport of boxing at a weight class, is to be a world champion. So I don't like the fight, but the mandatory makes it to where it's palpable to me. But let me pause and take a second to gloat, and let me say this. Another take age like fine wine. I remember when Floyd Schofield and Lucas Body were negotiating the fight, and the WBA said y'all can fight, but it won't be for the title. And I started telling people Tank Davis got his belt back. I'm told Tank Davis got his belt back. He's no longer in recess. And I got a lot of pushback, a lot of people in comment sections, a lot of people saying, you don't know what you're talking about, this, that, and the third, whatever. Well, now, the WBA themselves are letting you know who their reigning WBA lightweight champion is. They themselves are letting you know that he's no longer in recess, and they gave him his belt back. That has so much meaning to me, because I don't think the WBA does that unless they're hearing from Tank Davis's handlers that he's going to be able to come back to the ring as champion, and that court case is all but behind him in terms of criminal charges.
Floyd Schofield Jr. looks most likely to be the next opponent for Tank Davis. The Schofields are actively petitioning and pressing the WBA to enforce Floyd's status as the mandatory challenger for Gervonta Tank Davis's title. The Schofields expressed deep frustration with the politics blocking their path to a Tank Davis fight, noting they have been the WBA mandatory challenger for over a year now. Schofield Sr. criticized the sanctioning body's delays, stating they are prepared to pursue legal action under the Ali Act to bypass promotional roadblocks. Despite the structural gridlock, he revealed that Golden Boy and PBC are actively negotiating. Schofield Jr. further expressed exhaustion over being held up while his peers advanced, stating that Davis is holding up the division. He emphasized that he stays ready in the gym, eager to fulfill his dream and secure a legacy-defining fight.
Oh no, they really in talks right now with Tank for us to fight Tank. We've been his mandatory for a year. Of course, I'm putting a little heat under it because by WBA bylaws, in 9 months after we became that, we were supposed to get a title shot. It's been a year and a half. So it gets to a point like, you know, some people say, well, your son might lose. But my son want to live out his dream. You know, he gave up his childhood. He did all of this to grind to this point. Now the politics of boxing, it said, nah, we're going to go this way, and it's not right. So we're more like standing up for all the boxers that make it to number one, because that's the only way you're going to make boxing exciting. Again, all this politics and picking and choosing and selecting, they might as well keep Zuffa. You know, might as well, I can understand that then, if that's how they're going to. But how do you feel about what's going on?
Man, it's crazy, man. I'm being patient. But like my dad said, it gets to a point where it's like, all right, we've been number one. I mean, this is the only sanctioned body, you know, I'm number one. And I mean, I think I'm number two in the IBF, but I'm right there for that belt. So it's like, out of all my peers, how am I the only one that's being held up from getting a world title that I grew up with? You know, Xander Zayas is already unified. Mason is WBO champion. So it's like, how come I'm being held up by a guy who seems like he doesn't even want to fight? And I think that's the most frustrating part, because if it's like you don't want to make the good fights happen, it's like it's almost like, in a way, get out the way. I mean, you're holding part of the division up. I mean, you're not fighting Shakur, you're not fighting Tank, you're not fighting your mandatory. So nobody knows what he's doing, but you know, my dad is handling that, and you know, the rest of the team. So like, y'all know me, I just stay in the gym and I stay ready. So when I get that call, I'll be ready.
This could be an exciting fight considering Floyd Schofield is unbeaten and will fight in his first major fight. He's a promising star and could possibly give Tank tough competition in the ring. Kid Austin's promoter Oscar De La Hoya also confirmed that this fight could happen next. While De La Hoya promised to push for the fight if Schofield and his father truly won it next, he explicitly warned that jumping straight into a Tank fight right away wouldn't be the right decision in his eyes. Instead, De La Hoya believes Schofield needs one more developmental fight first before challenging Davis, who he heard plans to return to the ring later this year.
Hey Oscar, with this PBC and Golden Boy collaboration, I talked to Kid Austin and he was very complimentary of you trying to push towards his WBA and his Tank Davis fight. Is there real motion going with Kid Austin and Tank Davis? If so, could you give us an update?
There will be real talks happening very soon. If Kid Austin wants to go after Tank next, then me as a promoter is what I have to do and get him, right? As a promoter, I still feel that I would give him one more fight and then go after Tank. But if he wants it right away, let's go. Let's go. It wouldn't be the right decision in my eyes, but if the father and the kid want it, then that's what I'll have to push for. I'm not sure exactly what position or what Tank Davis is doing, but I did hear he does want to fight third quarter of this year.
So like July is what they were telling me that they would like? Is
September, October.
Okay. Now, Floyd Schofield Jr. was recently on the Last Stand podcast with Brian Custer, and he revealed all on his ring comeback. He explained that his long absence from the ring was primarily due to a hand injury sustained during a sparring session. This forced him to prioritize full recovery to maintain his punching power, though a planned April bout also fell through. He revealed his targeted return date is now August 21st. His team is actively finalizing the details for his comeback match. Schofield emphasizes that a fight against Gervonta Tank Davis is crucial for his career. He believes facing Davis right away, without a tune-up fight, will finally earn him the boxing respect he deserves.
Listen, yeah, I know it's been nearly a year since we have last seen you in the ring when you took out Tevin Farmer. Why has it been so long since we've gotten a chance to see Kid Austin back in the ring?
I'm not gonna lie. After that Tevin Farmer fight, I kind of enjoyed the little ride of how everything was going. Had my birthday. Then I started like getting into camp around, I want to say September for Jojo Diaz. Then I had sustained a hand injury in sparring, and that's what like kept me out so long, making sure my hand was perfect. Because with me, I like to hit hard in training. Sparring, I'm hitting hard, so it was kind of weird trying to get back into that groove to make sure my hand was cool. And then I was supposed to fight in April. If people are on Twitter, it was supposed to be Fonseca, but that fight fell through. Now I'm waiting for another fight date, which we got one. I don't know if I can say it yet.
Sure you can. Listen, this is the Last Stand. That's what we do on the Last Stand. Not them other places, but on the Last Stand. You can give us, what's the date?
August 21st is the date we're aiming for. August 21st.
August 21st. Okay, now, at some point, there was talk of Kid Austin and Tank Davis being his return. And they were looking at late August, even early September. What happened there?
I'm not sure. My dad, he's the one who handles the management stuff along with Oscar. So I don't know usually what they're talking about, because I just like to fight. I'm a dad. I got to deal with that, and I got to deal with training. So I kind of stay out of that. But I've been trying to tell my dad to keep pushing for the fight, because I think that fight right there, it gives me the respect that I deserve. Win, lose, or draw, which I'm not going to lose that fight. I'm not going in to lose, but I think no matter the outcome, I think that gains me the respect that I need.
Fair to say, Schofield is being gutsy with his desire to fight Tank Davis. He's only 23, but he's looking for the big fights that could push him to greatness if he manages to cause an upset against a fighter of Tank's caliber. However, there's a big question mark above Schofield's head. The young boxer previously had the opportunity to fight Shakur Stevenson in a major fight in Saudi Arabia, but failed to show up when talks for the fight began to progress. Andre Durrell recently raised doubts about whether Floyd Schofield was indeed serious about the monumental task ahead of him. Darrell describes Schofield as naturally talented, recognizing his genuine hunger, drive, and boxing skills. However, Darrell admits there is a mystique surrounding Schofield's readiness, largely because he often lets his father do the talking while remaining relatively quiet himself. Darrell feels conflicted because Schofield aggressively calls out elite fighters like Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and Keyshawn Davis, yet missed his big opportunity to face Stevenson. Ultimately, Darrell still likes Schofield, but emphasizes that because he is doing all this talking, it is time for him to step up and back it up.
Let me ask y'all a question, man. How y'all feel about Floyd Schofield? This boy is naturally talented. You can see the boxing skills in this boy. You can see the hunger in this boy. Drive, determination. He got all of that, right? But I still can't quite figure him out. Now, it's not like I was studying the boy like crazy, but when I see him, there's sort of like a mystique around him, right? Sometimes I feel like I catch his drift. Other times he let his father do a lot of the talking, man. And his father, just like a lot of other fathers out here, can talk, right? All of them, is validated. I ain't sitting there talking about the father. I'm just saying the father's got a lot to say today. And the majority of the cats who allow their father to talk, they fall back and they don't say much, right? So there's the mystique around Floyd, right? But at the same time, if you ask him who he wants, who he thinks he'll be, he'll tell you. Tank, whooping. Shakur, whooping, right? But here's where I'm a little lost at right here. When he had the opportunity to fight Shakur, Saudi Arabia, right? I'm sure it was a big check. Biggest check he ever seen in his life, no question about it. He didn't show up. So that leaves me thinking, right? Did he do it because he just talked? Or did it because, he'd back up and save Shakur face, save face for Shakur, get him another time, right? I think the important thing to note here is he's doing the talking, right? But if he's not willing to back what he says up, then, I'm kind of in a little funk with him. But I'm still waiting to see where this goes, man. He's calling out Keyshawn, Shakur, look, every name, bro. He ain't worried about it. So it's about that time one of those fights happens, right? Listen, it does nothing for Shakur because this dude ain't even the world champion, right? So Shakur will be giving him an opportunity. It does something for Tank, for sure. But it doesn't even do really nothing for Keyshawn, right? This boy ain't a world champion yet, man. He's still a prospect. So how do you play this game, right? Again, note, the important thing is he's calling them out. So when it's time, he's going to have to step up to the plate. How y'all feel about Floyd Schofield? I still like the boy, but there's a question mark over his head. Can't wait to see what he does, man.
With negotiations for the Tank Davis fight still being in its early stages, we don't know whether Schofield Jr. gets cold feet and pulls out of this fight. However, it's going to be interesting to watch a young kid take on one of the most feared boxers in the sport. We'd love to hear from you. Do you think we'll see Tank Davis return to the ring in 2026? Can he defend his WBA belt against Kid Austin? Let me know in the comments. That's all for today. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.